And let's get things rolling.
I'm so hyped to see this as well because Testament is such an underrepresented character and I absolutely adore them as a character, as a design, and especially the incredible just expression people can have in them players, especially Joe, because I've been following and playing against this player for a fair while now, and it's just a treat watching him. I haven't seen IML play too often, but this mirror is going to be something 100%.
And JoTheConducter, we talk about players with pedigree, right? Joe himself is not someone you should definitely dismiss in any regard. We definitely talked about big names in the offline scene, but when it comes to the online scene, you definitely cannot take away from players like JoTheConducter who really live up to the name of the conductor, just really trudging along and really causing any kind of stir anywhere they go.
Alright, so now we got Joe in the white outfit, and we got IML in the orange one, and we're already heading off to a very strong start with the force burst on Joe's backside, and now we're just going back into the standards, Testament neutral, the two-part. You want to apply stain as fast as possible, and then just go on the offense, exactly as we're seeing here, Kappa. I was about to call it Yoka, that's incredible. Like, you've been affecting my mind too much.
I know, and trust me, it's going to get very simple, very fast over time. But nicely done using the FD cancel off the IAD, trying to be a little bit tricky in the early going, but IML still able to fight out of that corner very well, trying to set up the stain state and just look at the neutral immaculate from both sides. And now we're going to see how much the changes off the Super PRC are going to affect both these players, though JoTheConducter does come out on top and take that first round.
I know IML actually took that first. But now we're just going back into the offense, going for the classic JH Fireball plus frames, of course, off of the stain state. Giving up his round, and now Joe is absolutely on the offense after two very good counter hits for us in the burst off of IML, and we're right back into it there. A nice RC here, Kappa.
Simply does it. Gonna set up the stain state. We do have very good opportunities to really play around with that meter if we're Joe, but we are gonna get caught by the far/hit confirmed far away. Oh, we're just gonna send out the reversal attempt on JoTheConducter's side. A lot of meter to play with, but so far so good from IML to keep this game level. And now it's going to be even Steven for both players.
I did like that. I did like that little sequence, and Joe had all the time in the world to just do anything he wanted, and he just went for the run of dust. Nice plus frames off of that charged H Fireball, and now we're right back in the neutral after a forced burst. Like, the resources are looking fairly similar except that burst, because that can be used on anything like combo extensions, of course, with the orange wild assault. But we're just right back in the neutral, trying to get that first hit as fast as possible.
Oh, I was mistaken. The names are in reverse. IML is on the right side. Okay.
Yes, so, exactly.
Yeah, I was confused. So JoTheConducter usually rocking the white. I was a bit confused by it. But in any case, though, nicely done from IML to be able to take that corner, just continue to control space. We are going to get JoTheConducter to try and match it out, go blow for blow, but IML just keeping that corner with absolute ruthless aggression. Be able to get the throw off just in time to be able to set the game alight. IML up 1-0. That's the kind of stuff you always expect from time to time. But it's a little bit late for the people at home. Nice
Exactly.
Clashing with the Grave Reapers and just kind of going blow for blow, just trying to feel it out. Joe opting to just feel out the tempo here, as we did see how that first game went. Both players kind of going really level with one another.
And as we're seeing multiple times, both players are just trying to collect as much resources as possible, just get that stain on the other player. And what a beautiful confirm! Close/anti-air goes straight into the Nostromo, and this is going to be a wall break if I've ever seen one. We'll actually get the stain state as well. No hard knockdown, but this is such a good position for Joe. But watch out for that full meter on IML's side, and immediately uses 100 of that just to get that offense. But does not deter Joe in the slightest, and we're right back into it. Joe trying desperately to get that point on the board.
And mind you, I think it's a little bit of a reference to pull out from the North Americans district, but sometimes you really got to keep track, because you got to learn your combo theory, kiddos. That max range hit confirmed into that overdrive to be able to seal out the deal and provide as little resources as possible for IML. Nice mash out from the 5P to catch from the other side and steal the corner back just in time to get the wall break, setting up positive bonus alongside a plethora of resources to burn through.
Alright, we see that change immediately after the latest patch. The Crow is applying hard knockdown, so you have so much freedom to do whatever you want if you manage to hit that. But IML is not deterred, one apiece on the rounds, and IML is looking very healthy, especially after this burst forced from Joe, and now straight into the counter hit and back to the neutral here, Kappa.
Hard knockdown, and just like you mentioned, right, that hard knockdown off the Raven, it's definitely such a huge thing going forward. Both players trying to play that very simple, slow, methodical style. Able to finally get out the Nostrova, gonna get the girls out on a night on the town.
No stain pop at all, but no, we got the block on the YRC, but no punish, unfortunately. Joe is fighting for his life right here. Got the stain pop, no combo, just opts for the Oki, goes for the high this time. Knockdown, but IML is so close with the teleport going through the bottom, and Joe is slowly chipping away at IML's health, and this is such a good hit, and this might just be a no! We were talking about the combo theory, no! Kappa, this cannot happen at this stage.
That's unfortunate too, because the distance required and necessary to be able to get that juggle, while it wasn't the wrong approach, it was just mistimed, misspaced, and it really showed gravity scaling can be truly punishing if you just aren't ready for it. And destination one way or another, we just found a few hiccups along the way.
Speaking of hiccups, burst immediately made him. The Raven just combos into the far slash immediately. Incredible combo just right here. And you opt to use the fireball to not pop Stain. And now you're Joe on the defense. No resources, no nothing with Stain on you. And already in the corner here, Cap. And this is just going to be a deja vu on the pressure we've seen so much before.
I mean, at this point in time, you're already 2-0 to the nothing. Trying to build as many resources doesn't really matter for Joe at all, as IML just dissuading any approach at all, getting the 7 golden letters and really putting a stamp on their top 8 winnings run, as they were able to put down Resil into the loser side. But this is a big counter hit to set things going. Another counter hit to go through.
Nah, that's OD. That was such a good confirm out of the teleport just to cancel those recovery frames. Ooh, Joe trying to get a little fancy. Whiffs the 2D, unfortunately, the H fireball just to punish that. And Joe, look at that, Stain state, but just manages to claw his way out, straight out of that pressure. No burst on IML's side, but I think that we're just going to be going to the next round with no burst on IML. And Joe is looking mad healthy. If this is a comeback, this is the perfect start of it.
I mean, we saw earlier how quickly the tides can turn when burst is applied. Both players working on a hive mind, just trying to get that round start too, H.
It's the gentleman's handshake. You got to start off with those sometimes, you know?
Oh, nice Stain Pop confirmed. We are going to finally be able to get the pickup off the 5K during the Stain Pop, and we have quite a lot of resources to burn through. IML just barely able to build up that 15 meter, but we do have the situation, trying to get the empty jump, and now we get the knockdown into the wall break. Gonna send out the girlies to do the business for us.
Absolutely going to be a hard knockdown through the wall. Positive bonus. Stain state is every single buzzword in the catalog. But now look at Joe's resources, full meter across the board, both burst and 100 tension. But IML is just going to be circumventing that with a throw and just another Nostrovia setup. 6 Sage OTG. This is the last situation for set.
Oh, we finally built up 100 meter. This is perfect, but this is our only opportunity. We're able to pull the trigger much faster, like the old Western. Gonna be able to run it out, get out of the corner, and catch the fuzzy jump from IML. JoTheConducter is still trudging along. The little testament that could is still in this game, taking it to the brink, as IML still working with a very important point lead, but that lead can go to nothing when confidence starts brewing and adrenaline starts spiking.
Both burst gone on both sides right now. We're just trying to build meter, just trying to build any sort of corner pressure we can. And IML is right back into here. I've said deja vu once. I'm going to say it again, deja vu. And we're right back into a deficit on Joe's side. No, unfortunately, it does get wall breaking now. We're just in the other side. Never mind. We're just back into it. Never mind. Never mind. Never mind.
There's these little glimpses and these little minor mistakes that really kind of add on, right? And as the set has been progressing, IML has just been taking advantage of every single one of these small opportunities. It's the idea of win small, win frequently, and Joe has been losing in a lot of these circumstances that IML has just been dominating.
Absolutely, 100%. Even these small trades, even as you say, like these small mistakes amount to a lot, and Joe has seen more drops across the board, and IML is just a bit more tight on those combo conversion, just as we see here. If not going to force burst, is going to be forcing a combo just offense, and we're already back to a very, very low health. And Joe manages to fuzz the jump and force the burst, but now so little health left to work with here, Kappa.
Try as we might, we are right around the precipice of victory for IML. We are going to be able to get the Arbiter sign. But again, IML, his potency has been way too overwhelming for even JoTheConducter to be able to overcome. Very good stuff from IML to dominate all throughout, even from these little glimpses where the momentum started to swing. Very fantastic stuff, very strong showing, and very, very dominant in the winner's side. Now they're going to be able to go into winners finals comfortably, take a small breather, and really get things going, as unfortunately they are going to meet Shocker in winners finals.
Definitely Scatter versus Furrito on May, and I have not seen too much of Furrito, only see the name pop up here and there, but also May, a character that is universally not just disliked for her strength, but also very rarely played. So I'm excited to see that actually someone is bringing this character into bracket. I need this player amongst others to just show Arxis how incredible she is. You know what I'm saying?
Scatter's potency cannot be understated. That player has, even with all the qualities that he has and all the strength that they have, it's just a matter of time to see how much Scatter can really pull out in the fray. But I think we need to take a look at someone like Furrito, who, again, going very deep into the loser side of things, really trying to take it to the front, as we're taking one of our better players to go forward, and looking at one player for the future, as FurritoSlayer has been building their name up and really slowly developing as time goes on, and we're seeing how well that's going to be put to the test as you play against one of EMEA's finest.
Absolutely. Furrito on the defense, it's fairly equal right now, but against May, any single hit is devastating. And now, actually, Scatter managed to get the wall break, and positive bonus very good for Giovanna, especially in these last situations. Speaking of last situations, May 3K. May 3K, that's all I'm going to say.
It truly is blue water, blue skies where Furrito is concerned, because it's a good start for the going. Getting that beach ball Oki, getting that first round going, that's a lot of confidence on the boost, but this is where Scatter becomes dangerous. You show your hand too early, you will get caught, but it's a good start for Furrito. He's able to just maintain this offense throughout so far, as both players just narrowly getting to 50 meter.
Ooh, nice little confirm, nice little fake out with the dash step. Ooh, what a fuzzy off of the wake up! What the hell? Through the wall, positive bonus, not a lot of damage, but this is such a nice momentum swing for Giovanna. This is exactly what you need to take the round back. And speaking of needing exactly what you need for the round, May damage, getting a very, very good 5H, getting the reversal, because you do have 100 tension. Is going to be using that to get that momentum back. And one more hit, and we're right back into the round. One apiece, Kappa.
Very good verse discipline from FurritoSlayer, knowing that the round could have easily been won there if he tried it, but he decided maybe the round wasn't too important to be able to take that burst away. Now going into this next round, both players have burst, and this is where burst starts to become even more important, especially right there off the counter hit, as immediately we disrupt any of our momentum for Scatter to use, and now Scatter uses it offensively to keep that momentum.
Oh my days, Scatter has incredible discipline on defense, especially neutral, just waiting for their opponent to do any sort of mistake. And what a capitalization. Feels like Scatter has downloaded their opponent. And this is such a strong third round. And I hope to see way more of this in the rest of the set.
Player is out, which is very difficult to get a player like Giovanna, or a character like Giovanna, to really stick, when a lot of players, myself included, feel that, you know, a lot of it does tend to be more honest as approach to players like, or characters like May, who can just kind of represent options more liberally and more freely without consequence.
For sure. Oh my god, speaking of no consequence, just that tap. A tap 5 is 4 frames, and is such a good defensive tool, especially in a character with that much HP as May. But we're right back into it. Scatter capitalizing on an offensive burst, and now we're just equalizing on those resources. Of course, the classic neutral skip and a little bit of a shimmy is going to lead to a safe jump and a blocked reversal, but we have PRC just to keep it. And now, yet again, we're right back into the equalization of HPs here, Kappa.
Slowly does it. You're starting to see how well these jab confirms are really working out for Scatter, and if you take a close look, it has been doing absolute numbers. This is a very strong layer 1 option against FurritoSlayer, who has been known to represent these 5Ps, these 5P contestation points very frequently, as we notice a lot of these counter hits starting to land more frequently, and now we're going to get the wall break. It's time to see what positive bonus can do for us, Mastodon.
It's definitely just going to back to neutral, but no, a dash forward is going to be leading to a hard knockdown, and now from the grab is just Mix City with Giovanna. You have all the media you can work with, no positive bonus, but what a little back walk just to get that hit with punish, spacing trap through the wall, and that's going to be a perfect Scatter. That patient monster, that's all I'm going to say.
And as a result, not able to use that burst, isolate options, break down your opponent, and make them second guess their own approaches, even when they're winning interactions.
For sure, for sure. Now we are seeing immediately exactly the thing that you're talking about. Incredible patience from Scatter, just on the discipline. And again, what a little shimmy just to get that grab. 5H counter, this is going to do a lot of damage, even on May. Through the wall, getting the super as well. Hard knockdown, positive bonus. This cannot look better for Scatter this round, because as we all know, Giovanna being stronger and stronger with the more meter she has. But we're right back into it. What a good reversal from Furrito. And now, straight up, both bursts are being used and just back into the corner with me as the offense. And let me tell you, I would not like to be in this situation as Scatter.
I mean, even then, the meter discrepancies tell you otherwise, right? We're going to go for the burst immediately afterwards. Scatter not really feeling all too worried whatsoever. Going to cash out all the cash, wait later on, and not feeling too pressured. Just going to get the tap. Does confirm. Easy does it. We are on set point. And more important than that, it feels like all of our efforts to continuously barrage our players' mental is doing fantastic work. But once again, how do you deal with someone who's willing to just mash at any given point?
Like, let's be real, like, not much. You just kind of take those 5Ps. Like, hey, except if you just go for the Street Fighter 6 approach, grab into grab into grab, and oh, what a close left. Gonna do a fair amount of damage. Wait, you just mentioned something about mental barrage. Is it the yokai, like, higher-ups doing this to their own players?
I mean, I didn't see this bracket.
And that's going to be 3-0 for Scatter. What? Very hyped to see Resil. The more I talk to him, the more insight I get about Bedman and just his mentality when it comes to playing against different characters. And as soon as I say that, as soon as I was about to glaze this man's like philosophy level mind, he just does White Wallace twice, and his burst is already gone with a heavy health deficit versus Asuka, and this is not looking good for our hometown hero.
He does have recover mana on stage. He is going to let the high compression particle sphere Rick. And there is the one option that Foghorn Leghorn himself, Resil, is trying to get through, trying to sneak into the other side, trying to catch the airspace that Vena so likes. But so, interestingly enough, Vena playing a very interesting ground game, something that's very unlike him for the most part. Just controlling the ground and then moving into the air from time to time.
Whoa, nice little activation on install. It seems like you really want to get this installed as soon as possible just to get through that barrage of cube. And now it's off the table, and a simple 6P is going to be sealing the deal for Vena, 1 round up. How are you feeling so far? You said that Vena is like keeping to the ground, which is very unnatural.
I mean, usually a man like him, you see him trying to occupy that space in very small intervals, trying to like be very wary, because I believe in this matchup in particular, he probably thinks that the plan here is to try and occupy the ground game and mitigate the skies for Resil, as that is usually a very potent threat for Bedman himself. We're going to dig into the Sacred Scrolls and try to find ourselves a good hand to play with. We do have the teleport that he knows and loves, and tries to get something going off of the vacuum staff, but so far Foghorn Leghorn able to cut the distance as well as get the corner out.
Good stuff of the back and forth. Nice stuff of Resil just to push Vena back into the corner with only 5th attention to his name. Nice using that on the YRC immediately into the arpeggio just to get that momentum back to himself. And using the gravity staff just to keep Resil on his toes and in that. And now we're just spent YRCs on both sides. And a simple lightning spell will just seal the deal. 1 up for Vena. Oh my days.
Playing it a lot more to the cuff and just really sticking to what he believes is best to cut out the airways, opting to go for a more passive approach and opting to just cut out the airways for Resil himself before him deviating away from the game plan. And there it is.
For sure.
Just slowly find our way through, and now we have quite an interesting amount of cards to play with.
Oh, that's an interesting hand. Has 2 fire cubes, 1 arpeggio, 1 teleport. This is a decent hand to go, especially once you get on offense. But I was about to say, you have to be able to use burst to get that, but immediately uses all of his spells just to get that wall stake and wall break. Positive bonus with 50 tension on the board already is looking very healthy for Asuka. And that mana, that health is looking decent. Resil has to do something crazy to get this back.
I think what's more important to note is not just how much Vena is winning, it's how much he is holding steady and holding steadfast. His discipline on defense has been immaculate thus far, and it has been earning him quite a lot of victories in a lot of these very crucial areas that Resil opts to try and go for himself. He's having a difficult time just trying to establish himself, as Vena just holding steady and not being shaken in the slightest.
And more plus frames off of that. Big hit from Resil, and now immediately right back into the knockdown, and this is all Vena. Oh, never mind, the famous Resil 6P connects, and now it's all Resil back again. Gonna get a hard knockdown with fair amount of resources as well. Has access to install as well if he wants to go for it. But no RC activation either. But what a mash just out of the corner with Asuka. There's no way you do that with that little mana left. What?
We have 100 meter to play with. Instead, we're opting to go for the block stun off of the reversal, off the 4CC. We're going to use the H error to try and push our advance forward. But little by little, now we're starting to see a little bit of that air stall. But we do get clipped in the skyline, maybe deviating from the plan a little bit, got us caught there. But all in all, still very strong stuff from Vena, but it is a very good start from Resil to start getting things flowing in his favor.
Speaking of favor, this is all Vena right now through the wall. Not too much damage, but we're seeing a big positive bonus and a hard knockdown. Fair amount of burst built on Resil's side, but you don't have anything else to be helping against Asuka because those cubes are relentless. And now you just use your last lifeline against him, and he has an arpeggio super, everything to go with.
Using the Sacred Text, we are going to set up the wall of cubes to be able to get things flowing. We do have yet another card to help recover the mana. We have a very stable hand, and we're going to try and get as much of that damage into the wall break. Last-ditch effort. Burst is still a far cry away, and he's going to send it with the 4CC, and he's able to succeed in these small interactions. Trying to get some sort of opening and still follow in behind the H error, but the wires C to push on out.
Oh my god, it seems that Vena has literally an answer to everything Resil is doing. When Resil is doing those Hail Marys, you have 50 attention to press wire C and get the hell off me.
Quite an amazing name on his resume of players to put down, especially in such a very important level for both of them. And now it's time to see how much of Resil's game plan really works as he tries to burst early and burst frequently using the vitality to his advantage, and now finally able to get the mid-screen position into the corner he wants.
Oh, what a good switch up, but Resil just sends a little fireball just to get Vena back down to earth. Oh my god, incredibly missed wire C. That could have been so much worse than it actually went. Resil is just going to be doing a reversal with a nice corner position plus frames off of that move, and just going to go with a triple overhead and a simple combo. This is just the beginning of the equalization. I genuinely believe that Resil, if anyone, can do this. And now, listen, Vena is taken to the skies way more just in this round than he has in the past 2 games.
I mean, after a while, you definitely start to question whether or not that's his plan put into motion, or if that's Foghorn Leghorn decided, you know what? Let's play the ground game. Let's try and take control of the space that you've been occupying all game long. Both players now have 50 meter. Both do not have burst to play with, and that is going to be a hard knockdown for Vena to play with as he sits up the cube, and that is a very stable hand as he has the vacuum staff to play with. We're going to play a little bit of Jenga.
Oh, and that's a block, that's a punish. You have burst, but are you going to be using it this late into the game? No, absolutely you aren't. This is going to be a simple wall break, and now you are set point Vena 2-0 over Resil. This is, I won't say unprecedented, but very near so, because Resil is an absolutely incredible player, but anything can happen here in Vice Monthly. Check us out now and forever.
One half of Exodia has been used. That is a very amazing card to be playing with. The vacuum staff is now applied, and we have the call of Exodia to play and heed our call.
Oh my god, what a pick off to the 6-8, but that tap us is going to be the reversal down. Resil being very much more lenient and free with those reversals just to get Vena off of him.
Trying to run in behind the H error, trying to control the skies, and now it's time for Resil to try and see if he can utilize a little bit of that air stall game that Vena tries to use against him. A little bit of a taste of his own medicine. That White Wildesard is able to cut the distance.
No way, Resil actually reacted to that. Look at that IB. That is the significance. That signifies definitely that Resil was reacting to that. And that is just going to be the capitalization off of that block into the wall break and finally putting a 1 on the scoreboard. The tank is running more and more empty on Vena's side, and Resil is finally seeing some gaps in that immaculate game plan. But maybe now, maybe the momentum is just shifting back into Vena's side after. Maybe Vena just wanted to put it on a show, you know, doesn't want to make it too easy, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, we do have one half of Exodia. We still have another card to recover the mana should we need it. We are going to utilize as much of the cards as well and try to minimize any form of resistance that we have been experiencing all set long. We do have 3 very stable cubes to be able to control the screen, and we are going to go for the TK 4B3, the Resil classic, just cutting through the distance and being able to get the corner off. But Vena, once again, being able to mitigate that advantage, and now playing at a screen coverage that he loves oh so much. Even the gold burst got baited out.
You can't do that. Not in that position. They're like infinite cubes on screen. You cannot even think about pressing burst in that situation, because Vena will just be holding down back and capitalizing off of any mistake. But speaking of capitalization, oh my days, just as I've been talking about, that 2P in this situation is crazy. And Vena is simply on the offense yet again. Less than 50% HP here. It's looking dire for Resil.
I mean, never say die. We're still very much alive in this set, and you can see there's still a lot of hope left in the young buck himself. There is recover mana. That is going to be one half of Exodia. The other half just came here. If we could get that online, we get a whole hand to really play with. That JS able to get things rolling, and now he's got more cards to play with as he teleports out of the corner and puts himself in a very good position. But the 13C has been locked in and used.
Oh no, oh no, oh no. This is just chip territory, especially Asuka has no mana. You have the install online, but Vena, oh my god, just playing a shoot 'em up, dodging every single bullet, but Resil is there ready to stick the landing and win a piece on rounds.
Good thing to get us started. The slow-mo cubes actually benefiting here in this position. Resil trying to break out and really kill all those cubes and the threat of those cubes. Slow-mo cube opting to get more more opportunities for Vena to play with, as we are going to get the recover mana and really restock on our approach.
Beautiful capitalization using the teleport for a spacing trap. This whole sequence was made to force Resil into a burst, and that was probably the last burst Resil will be using for this match. And this is such an incredibly good position for Vena. YRC is of course used just to get you off of me, right back at you. Now we're back into the offense. No resources at all on Resil's side, and this is looking like the last situation. Oh my god, what was that? Just a close slash to finish it off?
Yeah, just a simple close slash. You know, there's only so much you can keep track of on the screen, but Resil finally got put down for good. Vena, the onslaught remains as he... Both green and purple, both our respective teams, Macedon, are doing fantastic work to be able to take the lead and do so resoundingly as everybody starts to pick up the pace.
We're starting. Bro, I need to set up the thing! Oh shit! All right.
Oh, no! We gotta go back! We gotta go back!
Joe versus Vena, the lesser of two entertainment forms. I would have rather seen the balls, but we're going to see cubes instead.
Yeah, we do have to get the nameplates updated, but now it's going to be a mixture of two different collisions of styles, two worlds colliding one another, and the gold burst, but not going to be able to get the reward off of anything. Stable hand, though, but very little mana to play with. He cannot afford a mana break, but that might just be what he's looking for as he gets mana broken, but he does get the Oki situation after.
Oh my god, Vena is just immediately like dodging everything that Joe is throwing at him. And now we're right back into the offense with the mana back, 2 teleport spells and Arpeggio just keeping to the air, the incredible air stall as we were talking about earlier. Now we're back into full screen. I have no clue what could happen next. Just sends the super for those plus frames here, Cap, and now we're right back into the neutral.
I mean, we talk about movement, but now we're going to see a lot more of that classic Vena gameplay loop as he's going to be utilizing a lot of that teleport. Going to go for the full extension. Joe opting to go for the extension, able to get the kill off despite the mana shield. And that is going to be the first round of many for JoTheConductor.
Ooh, that was a pretty decent starting hand, especially with that freeze. Double Q with the fire and the teleport. This cannot be better for Vena right now. Offense just the cube hitting him immediately. Joe's on the back foot through the wall. Positive bonus off the stick with that 50 tension for the neutral, because against Testament you need everything in that neutral, especially this patch.
Oh, nicely done utilizing that teleport. We do have another teleport to play with in that position. We're going to use the Sacred Text to be able to splat on the wall and using the high compression particle sphere to be able to get the wall break, but just a little bit of life left to play with. And we're just going to try and chip out from these distances. And there it is. JoTheConductor getting caught. One sliver of life. Vena equalizing, but no resources on his plan. He is in dead man's land. No resources to burn through, while JoTheConductor has everything at his disposal.
Just has everything right now to just get a better hand, but unfortunately not that much luck. He even gets those fire cubes bursted, and now it's all Joe's turn. Has that teleport to try to escape the corner, but no, Joe's on that immediately. No gaps here. The only gap is against you through the wall. And now 50 tension, positive bonus with that plus frames. No mana on Vena's side either, and Kappa, this is looking very dire for the yokai representative.
He is going to get that hero burst. He only has one sliver of life to play with. Going to cash it all in. That 50 meter to try to get that knockdown. He did get mana back, but he didn't really have any resources to play with. And worst of all, he got caught by the dash up DLC 2K. JoTheConductor taking that first game on the bounce.
It's like thrown. It's like,
I am a generous god.
Panda is looking down at us. I will give you a marble racing. Anyway, jumping back into the game, and we're just back into the neutral. Deja vu, almost no mana on Vena's side. Recovers here, but nice capitalization off of Joe. That counter hit, forcing him to burst, but now we're right back into Vena City.
Oh, that's great teleport, as well as a whole dump of cards should he need it. Gonna RC, be able to get the full extension. Gonna get the knockdown situation. Now he has a fresh new hand to play with, and he's gonna be able to swap any given point, teleport right back to the ground, and really catch the recovery of JoTheConductor, and we're just trying to control this corner till death do us part.
Oh, that's such a good hand, but it's not even going to be needing on Singer or Spell. Well, one of those lightning cubes. That is the count hit off of that YRC, and we're straight into the next round. Like, this game, like this whole set has been so much back and forth, and we're only into the second match right now, Kappa.
Nicely done, able to get the ice restand to be able to get the wall break, and that is an amazing hand for various situations. Oh my god, he has 3 Exodias! Call upon Exodia! Obliterate!
Uh-oh, we're not gonna burst. Nice, just waiting for the 2H, because that is a guaranteed burst, especially through those multi-hits. Ooh, not quite getting the burst, getting a cheeky overhead with the air stall. The 2D whiffs, but no capitalization from Vena's side. Plus frames off of that, but no, apparently not in the air. 2P is gonna be counter-hitted, and now straight into Vena's offense. 2 arpeggios through those teleports, but Joe is just gonna be using that YC just to get out. Wait, that was the punish! Joe! Come on, Joe!
Joe is really ready and able. He's got the mana break. Vena gonna use the gold burst. Not exactly what it would have liked, but he does recover some of that mana. Crossing over to the other side. Same side mix. You had to guess the 50-50. And that is going to be both players sharing the same slice of the pie. Vena doesn't want to go down without any form of resistance. Catching you by surprise. You gotta be crafty in these situations, especially when you consider that Testament, not a character very well adept at the zoning, but let me tell you, the damage output is very, very terrifying if you give the opportunity.
Oh my god, that's so cheeky. Using the teleport to land on the other side. That was an incredible cross-up. As the gravity stab just to keep Arpeggio a bit more guaranteed. As the big cube, very, very plus. And that hand is looking nasty right here, Kappa. As we're... No, we're not even going through the wall, and this is a chance for Joe to take it back.
Oh, but we are going to catch the recovery. That isn't going to be a punish. However, that does set Vena up nicely. As we are going to get the overhead, we're going to call upon the Quake spell. And we're already off to a fantastic start. And look at that hand. Not a bad way to get things rolling into the at least start of this round. 2 Screamers and a cube to control the screen. But Arbiter Sign coming in nice.
Oops. My god, Joe is so good at catching that. He's so ready. Nice adaptation, just using the crow as an anti-air tool. Plus frames off of that 236H. No, but Vena is still trying to jump. Like this, nothing deters this man. He just keeps jumping in the corner, and it's your job to stop him.
Oh, you thought you had the punish off. You forced him to block, but that doesn't stop the wall of cubes from coming with a vengeance. We do have the repel staff, and that is going to be caught. We don't have any meter to play with, and the mana gauge has been broken. Gonna get the full extension off, but not going to be able to get the wall break.
Multiple Arbiter Signs keeps it safe with a PRC. This is only a sliver of health, and that final hit with the Air 236H just going to be killing. And now it's 1 apiece. This cannot be closer, ladies and gentlemen. If we even wanted it, or if we even scripted it, these 2 players are duking out to the final hit. And this is just getting crazier.
Nice Eton getting an overhead once again, recovering all that mana off the recover mana spell. And then we bought another one to double up on the resources. This man cannot be any luckier. The luck of the draw truly is on the side of Vena, as we are 1 step away from taking victory here. JoTheConductor having to use the burst.
Oh my god, wait, that crossed me. Who got hit? Who got hit? No one in chat blocked that. That went same side, just tapped us, covered it up with a cube. Oh my days, Vena, 2-1 on the scoreboard. And that is such a crazy finish to this match.
It's going to be a very tall order because JoTheConductor, again, an engine of a player. It's usually a game 5 savant, so you got to be ready. You already put down 1 player, now you got to put on another.
But Vena is definitely not giving up. As the person who knocked Resil out, this is definitely a player to look out for, especially in this top 8. Has the gravity staff, and of course, that cross-up is going to be hitting. That's a fair amount of damage for Asuka, but still building up a ton of burst for Joe, but opting to use the wire C just right back at you, using the super to just get some plus frames, and through the arpeggio as well. He has every single move planned out. That was an insane sequence as we move on into the set point for Vena.
Part of the card truly doesn't even begin to crack the level of luck his card draws have been. It has been absolutely amazing how well he's been able to make use of all of these cards and all of that mana gauge, even when he's been on the losing end of things. That teleport in particular, one of his amazing spells that he's been using to perfection. Gonna recover that mana, control that corner, and get the wall break. Mastodon, he is right there at the finish line.
My grandfather's deck has no bad cards. And are we going to be finished? Nice tries going for the burst bait, but has a... Oh my god. Went for the burst bait first time. Joe did not bite, but did have the fat cube to cover it. Tap dust. Very, very hard to see, especially when you've got a big cube right in front of your eyes. And the second burst bait definitely will be hitting. And that means Vena is your winner. And Yokai still lives. 3-1 going to next match. Oh my god. I am quivering from excitement because Shocker is genuinely one of my favorite players to look out for, especially since that head stomper showing. It was incredible. And this Axl is so good, especially with the latest buffs in this patch, because Shocker is dangerous. But do not count IML just yet, because that was such a convincing 3-0. Was it 3-0 in the bracket?
Yes, it was very much a 3-0.
It was 3-1, 3-1 actually.
Oh, okay, it was a 3-1. You were right. So it was a 3-1. And we did say it was a very dominating fashion, but there were moments where Joe was able to get himself in there. 100%. But that just shows you the level of potency that IML was able to win in. Oh, maybe early.
All right, we're right back into it. Don't worry about it. Oh. Interesting counter hit, nicely confirmed from that air, going into the ground, and especially with those command grab buffs, getting the pickup from the OTGs through the wall, positive bonus. This is looking dangerous for Testament, but not with that 6P. With that 6P, anything is possible.
Oh, 100 meter on deck. You have everything in a bag of beans. It's going to be Shocker who takes the first round, spills first blood, and puts IML out for the count for the first round. And now both players don't have any burst to work with for the foreseeable future. But for Shocker, this isn't too bad, especially after being able to dominate in the first round. Is able to try and put that distance away and steal the corner in the process, but nice mash out 5K.
Beautiful try to jump out to the corner, but IML was so ready, as we saw again with the showing against Joe. So ready with all of those confirms, especially off of those little buttons like 5K and 5P. But we are seeing a Shocker dominating round. But then, no, never mind. The health is very similar right now. And Shocker is just trying to do everything to keep IML in the corner right now.
Oh, nicely done, just in case if IML were to represent a reversal of some kind. Just going to go for the jump cancel. Crossing over to the other side. We're seeing a little bit of an interesting sandwich situation off of the Raven there. And now it's going to be even Steven. Both players roughly the same amount of bursts, but it's going to be IML who pulls the trigger, cashes out, and gets the Wild Assault confirmed to steal the corner.
Ooh, nice immediately goes for the 2H, but IML is ready with the jump over, gets that counter hit into Nostrovia. Ladies out, ladies 9, and we're going through the wall hard, knockdown with the stain, and it's looking dire for Shocker, but we still have almost 50 tension and that burst, which is immediately going to be used just as a get out of jail free card.
There we go, cutting out the airways, not allowing for the approach from IML. We saw how IML was able to dominate. This time, the 6P able to land as opposed to previously. Well, trying to rock out that 6P. Gonna get that Axl Bomber, and we're gonna get that wall break, keeping that meter for the next wall break situation.
BRC immediately, nice little conversion, forced the burst, but you're on a sliver of health versus Axl, the king of closing it out with singular buttons, and that is such an important trait to have on any character, but Axl is just inching ahead with all of those incredible buttons, just as we saw.
Now we're getting into game number 2. Mastodon, take it away from here.
What an incredible run-up throw. And again, is this Street Fighter 6 we're seeing here, Kappa?
Confirming a lot of these JSs, especially into the snail, and we are seeing how important these single hit situations. We talked about winning small and winning frequently. This is definitely the name of the game for Shocker here, as he is trying to win in these positional wars, and it's working to perfection. He's gonna get the full extension.
I was just about to like give IML crazy credit for jumping over that 2H, but Shocker was so ready to jump over that fireball, and incredible just back and forth into a crazy combo. And again, speaking of those finishing moves, 2K 5 frames, it is incredible. And Axl is genuinely the king of closing it out, because he has so like everything in his kit is catered to finishing it off. But speaking of finishing it off, no, unfortunately, doesn't matter. You get the hard knockdown with the crow, but IML is so incredibly good with those confirms. Just keeping Shocker in that corner right here, but Shocker, cool, calm, and collected. 6K straight out of it.
Oh, nicely done! Able to get the cross-up Axl bomber, and you already know what time it is. The damage output is enough to rival anything. Any momentum swing that IML had, immediately shot to the brink. Out of the way, dismissed, disregarded, ignored. It's time to go to game 3 and third game in. It's time to get over the nightmare that was those first 2 games, and IML once again caught by that run-up throw, really getting into the head of IML. Shocker is able to establish himself in the corner now, and ironically enough, really playing a very aggressive rushdown style and really bringing the game to IML.
Yep. I love that from Shocker, because that is literally what he's notorious for. Like, very, very aggressive Axl when there shouldn't be anything like that. But we're right back into the corner, 2K2D. Now you cannot mash against that because that's so fast. Tornado plus frame doesn't manage to get the conversion, but you're so close to a kill. And off the OTG 2H, that is just a set point for Shocker right here, Kappa.
And best of all, too, that snail buff. I don't think we talk about it enough. That snail buff offering a hard knockdown nowadays offers so much in terms of max range OTG hits off of the tip range of these normals and doing so much more damage, really offering so much for Shocker's gameplay. And now we're going to cross over to the other side, try to get back to the mid screen, and IML trying as they might to try and stuff out the aerial approach with a 6P of some kind, but finally able to get the hit off and get the knockdown they need.
Good okay situation, getting the guaranteed staying in, and that's going to be leading to a fair amount of combo. And the same side tap does is just going to get a round of IML side. This is what he needs right now, and you just need one more to keep the momentum to just normal. No way! Was that a spacing trap? What?
-3 is a state of mind, Mastodon, and truly we are going to be seeing how much of that really pays into factor. We do get the wall break, we get the stain state applied, and we have 50-meter. Positive bonus couldn't come at a better time, especially as we're a little bit low on the burst count. Gonna get that JH off, trying to beat out the stuff out that 6P attempt. And now, ladies, do your thing. Bang the burst! My God!
Off the block, nothing. Now it's all Shocker. IML still has 5th attention, but Shocker is slowly inching his way forward. But no, managing to get that 2-3-6 age counter hit with that. No, that was actually a 6B starter. Never mind. What an incredible awareness. IML is always so tight with those anti-airs. Finals. This is for the top 2 spot. Like this, if it's gonna be hype anywhere, this is where it's gonna be hype. And IML just immediately jumping in, no fear, no nothing, but putting himself in the corner with that offensive burst. Good stuff from Shocker, recognizing that situation, but now just trying to keep IML slowly in the corner. But if there's anyone that can get out, it's IML, but Shocker is not allowing with that. Never mind, the Wincident is right here. It's set up, Kappa.
Best of all, it's going to be a hard knockdown, especially off of that overdrive attempt. Immediate wall break. Nice IBFD, but we get mitigated altogether by the stain pop. It doesn't really matter. Going to be able to cross on forward, trying to bait out a possible approach from Shocker of all people. Going to use the burst, not wanting to let that hard knockdown stick, and able to cross over to the other side. Shocker wasn't available to that reaction time. Going to fuzzy jump that Arbiter sign, and now we're going to try and sneak in a throw, but the PRC to be able to get the back drift into the punish. Now it's one more round to IML to possibly take this to a game 5.
I cannot wait for this to turn into a game 5. It feels like IML has way more control over the rounds and over the pacing of the game that we have seen. But never mind, as soon as I say that, no, unfortunately, the command grab does not capitalize off of that 5P double, but now we're right back into the corner. 5th attention, has all the meter in the word, goes for the back throw. Is this going to be it? No, never mind, not even the OTG, but you're on the last hit, and as we mentioned so many times before, Axl is so good at this. I don't think he minds waiting on defense because he can just press that.
And I think what makes this even more important, this is not the first time that Shocker has been really scouting in advance these succubus placements. He is keeping a very track aggressive track as well, and scouting reports really show that he is just isolating that teleport placement. But all in all, IML doing a fantastic job of still playing that neutral, but now we got the knockdown by Shocker. He's going to put up the tornado, but the Arbiter sign really coming in clutch.
We're just going back and forth, trading blow for blow, but that 6B again, he's so ready with those anti-airs. Hard knockdown off of that stain, and you're not reacting to the stab dust through the wall, and you're just a few hits away from the equalization. IML is keeping it easy and simple, just trying to get that final hit. Uh-oh, but not if Shocker has anything to say about it.
Burst is almost on the table, almost 100 meter, not gonna bait the burst. Able to fuzzy jump the Arbiter side, and we run up with the reversal attempt. That man got right in his face and said, take all of that. Barney and Friends gives us a Game 5 thriller in Winners Finals.
I've seen this hype of a set in a little while at least, and this is so crazy.
I'm super excited to say, Mastodon, this is going to be one hell of a set. We thought this was all gone. We thought this was going to be a simple 3-0, but IML said otherwise. It's time to go down to the wire. Game 5. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're entertained because we are witnessing an absolute masterclass of 2 zoners at 8.
And they're not even playing it as zoners, they're just trying to duke it out as close as possible. Almost to the wall. This is just the first round, and Shocker is putting almost a scoreboard on the screen. Absolutely 2P into the snail is going to be sealing the deal, and this is looking all Shocker, but we cannot discount IML just yet. What a preparation of the J8, just waiting for IML to press that teleport, daring him to do it, and he did it.
He Abade 6K even right in front of his face. Nice backdash to be able to deal with the IAD JH, baiting out the YRC. And this is a perfect opportunity to cash in on all our efforts. Time to set up the stain state, the Nostrova to get the ladies out, do the business, and be able to get the hard knockdown. This is a fantastic start for IML to get the comeback, but the 2K2D to fight it on out.
Oh no, this is looking disastrous for IML right now. This is one more hit from Axl, and you can just wait. Oh no! You're daring to just throw it off like that Arbiter side. Shocker tried to go for the command grab, but didn't work. And now we're on the exact last round, last match for the set for grand finals. Just walks out of the corner, but Shocker getting a massive counter hit. Not going to be capitalizing off of that, but IML is just almost 25% HP left.
First! The gambit from Shocker to take that out. Scouting the teleport from an advance. Gonna get the counter hit. And Shocker comes out of the break. IML trying to reverse the situation. But Shocker able to do the kill shot. The British man, the British zoner, able to come out on top and really put in the business. What an amazing winner's side finals. He guarantees his winner's side slot in grand finals. I know they're all winners in my books, but at the end of the day, only one can come out on top and only one can be champion. And right now, Vena is on a hot streak where Scatter's a little bit cold due to the fact that he didn't have to play against the previous set against Fabz.
Yeah, absolutely, but I still think definitely cold is Scatter's middle name, because as we saw in his set previously, cool call collected, there's nothing phasing this player, and I'm just ready to see Giovanna taking on Asuka's cubes through the neutral. We're rocking straight into it, another yokai mirror, and we're back into the action.
Nice, able to stuff out the cubes with the 5P attempts, very calculated, just clean inputs, not mashing it out, just waiting out these cubes and trying to find their opener, and just waiting out all these spells to finally get that one needle in the haystack, able to push on and thread the needle to get that punish, forcing out the burst. But now we're back into winning ways. We have the corner, but Vena gets the knockdown to restart his game plan.
Giovanna really hates active low buttons, and if Asuka has anything, it is a very active low button. Oh my god, keeping the 5D covered with the arpeggio and getting a fat counter hit, and this is gonna be taking Giovanna straight through the wall into a last situation for the round.
And we are just going to use the wall of cubes, the green cubes, to set up the arpeggio wall that comes at us at supersonic speeds. Gonna mask the 6H with the wall. Just Scatter being overstimulated and getting caught by the overhead. Very slow, but very hard to digest when all those cubes just take up all of the screen like a bullet hail.
Absolutely it is. Getting the slow stuff, I don't know if this is to a detriment or to a positive for Vena right now, but it seems that Scatter is just too afraid to press anything. That's a slow-moving, unbreakable wall towards you, and you're just freezing up.
I mean, if you look at the background too. I mean, if you take a look at the background, the lady in the background, like, honey, look, the Magic Man is bringing back Tetris for all to see. I'm not tweaking, I promise. Look at this going on. Look at the action.
Yes, honey. Yes, honey. This is the third time this week.
I still think it's funny that the tourist in the background just doesn't care. He's just none of my business.
It's just another Wednesday. Like, what are you talking about?
Oh, speaking of another Wednesday, look at the damage. Oh, YRC!
Woo! 100% ready for the dash up DP. As soon as your opponent is in the air, you can do that almost freely as Giovanna. That's such an incredible DP. But speaking of incredible, look at that starting hand. Already getting together those fire cube, getting that big cube, as well as a screamer. That's plus frames for days. Scatter immediately using that burst, just trying to play that neutral against Vena. But Vena is noticing the Scatter is much more passive, just utilizing that momentum to his, to Scatter's detriment, of course.
And the worst part is not only the gravity staff being able to cover grounded approaches, it also, depending on the height that he shoots it at, he covers fuzzy options as well. But nicely done from Scatter to be able to force the burst out from Vena. Both these players at even Steven resources, but it's just one hit is all it takes. And now it's just an entire tirade of cubes. Approach me if you dare.
Scatter unfortunately used up all of his meter on that FD and now is in negative penalty as well. But managing finally to hit, managed to find a hit with that spiral arrow. Now Vena is in the corner. Ooh, nice little drop. Oh, and the block as well against YRC. Scatter, bro.
His health. He dies.
Wait, Vena became a picture book.
Now it's going to see how important this is going into game 2 as Vena is the one trailing.
Oh my god, just a round star 5H, the Giovanna classic fat counter hit. Of course, going to be baiting any burst in the game because you do not want to take that damage and meter gain from Giovanna. But that doesn't matter because you're almost at 50% HP with positive bonus as well. And the counter hit through the cubes and there's no burst to save you and you're all out of mana. There's going to be so much damage here.
Luckily for him, he did have mana. It scaled off of the mana shield, but he does get caught by the dash close slash. No mana, no problem. Just going to be immediate death for Scatter was taken to help take himself to the finish line. Already one round apiece, but gets clipped by the Sacred Text. And though try to use the Troval to sneak on through the cubes like he did multiple times already, he does get clipped this time by the wall of cubes as now he has to deal with the arpeggios.
Whoa, what a cross-up goes into the low option. This is a nice coast-slash starter. Just go into the massive combo, but building a fair amount of burst for his opponent for not too much damage, but getting the reset of the 5D is such a good capitalization for the next sequence. And also getting the corner here, Kappa.
And best of all, he was able to restock on all of his cubes, able to bite the YRC, giving him a little bit of a taste of his own medicine, and now gonna get the wall break, but that maybe afforded him a little bit too much time as he gets his burst back. Both players now working with burst to play with, and Scatter isolating the burst once again.
Now that's a burst situation if I've ever seen, when you need that momentum right back into your face, especially after Giovanna has been building so much damage against you and whittling away at your mana shield. Ooh, nice little 2K just to get out of that pressure, of course. Hard knockdown off of that new move. Oh my god. Sensed it one time for the one time. We're in Vegas. We're gambling with everything, baby.
We lined that shot up from the byline, and we also going to get that quick, easy counter hit. 5H, 10 frames of doom and despair. Scatter was able to take a second game.
The fortress of a person is not moving to anything, and no matter what, just sticking to a solid game plan and not letting the nerves shake him in the slightest, no matter how much HP or damage he might have taken. Because there was some rounds in that first game that I was like, nah, Scatter is just finished, but no, just came back so many times, and this is looking like a great start from Vena, but we can never count Scatter out.
Still with the hard knockdown, deflect shield to be able to have to deal with both high and the low, which is really good stuff from Scatter, but that doesn't really matter. Now that you have no burst to play with, you are going to get the wall break, and Vena in a very fantastic position here. Driver's seat with all his burst. Meanwhile, Scatter working with a deficit to his name.
All right, just to get those cubes off. Nice little capitalization, of course, canceling that 5P into the, what do people call it? Guard dog, of course.
It used to be Garu Dog, but now
right, there's no guard crash anymore. It's just dog. It's just dog.
Hey, what the dog doing?
Oh, what a nice reversal. Will this actually hit? No, not with a PRC. Wait, no! Vena, what are you doing?
He misjudged the spacing and he got caught for it, spending all his meter in the process. He had to FD everything out. He cannot afford to get hit. Just one mash out and he's done for. Tap does gonna land. Is this gonna be enough to kill? Not quite. But he has no mana, he has no hopes. He's just got a little bit of burst to play with. He is gonna spend it on. Now he gets 3 2Ds back to back. Woo, terrifying.
Plus range for managing it to get a great hit, and now you have some of your favorite spells in hand, especially with that lightning spell and the teleport. This is one situation away, and the 5D again. The 5D has been carrying so many situations, and Vena has finally put a score back on the scoreboard. I've been telling you, it's not gonna be a 3-0 like at all for the rest of this tournament. Oh my god, we are gonna be looking for layers upon layers, because right now we're going with the round start 6P into the Screamer, and Scatter has to be moving uphill because Vena seems to have found some secret to fight against Scatter's onslaught and cool mind. Because right now the gravity staff is definitely doing work, and now we're finally finding the hit, but no cubes are leaving the gravity, and now finally Arpeggio from downtown, or uptown should I say, is finally finding its mark, and now we're going through the wall with full mana, full burst, and positive bonus. This is the trifecta here.
And even better, the triple threat, you know, the 5 cubes, level 5 cubes as well. This should be more than enough to get the kill. There's nothing that Scatter can do but watch as his burst gain goes up, which is probably the best decision he probably could have had, is just wait for the burst and just take the round 100%. And move on to the next. But so far, Vena is finding his groove again, but this is how things go downhill. That Chave Travel just catching from the end, and now we had to force the immediate burst to try and control the situation once again.
Oh, the wait! Oh, such a daring burst. Vena was just waiting for that to happen. You have so many cubes up on screen. Now you're frozen into the corner. You have no meter or no resources at all to get you out. And that 5D again into that RC is going to be nice just to get those resources back on Asuka's side. Positive bonus, just stall it in the air. Maybe you have another teleport to do, but no, not if Scatter has anything to say about it. Now you're plus range, so now you're against the corner. This is such a good hit and so much damage, even through that mana shield kappa. And now we're almost equalized on everything.
Gonna cash out immediately into the high compression particle sphere. You already know what time it is. He's still restocking on some of that mana.
And look at us teleport. Look at us teleport though.
Immediately 3 teleports to the name, and he does not have any mana to play with. He does get the knockdown. No, he goes for the tap. He is a greedy individual, and he's gonna go for the full extension. Gonna go for the run-up throw. Crosses over to the other side. Gonna get the mash out, but not enough to kill. But he teleports. We got a game 5 on our hands, Mastodon.
Oh my days. That triple teleport, I do not think that was doing him any favors to win. That's all I'm saying. But Kappa, tell us, what is going on screen?
I couldn't even begin to tell you, even if I tried. But as far as things are considered, though, Scatter on a warpath. He has to try and mitigate the threat of a reverse 3-0 as Vena is really finding his groove once again.
Speaking of finding his groove, that's the whole last burst gone. That's almost your whole life. No meter, no nothing. And now you've just unfortunately wasted your deflect shield, and Vena's just dancing on the screen. What is going on, man?
I couldn't even begin to tell you, man. But he's digging into his wall of cards. He still has the staff available. He gets crossed up, trying to bait the burst. Scatter, trying to get a little bit of that extra change that he got baited for earlier. And he's going to 6P through all of that and get the Chave Travel. Going to try and get the EX dive kick, but is not going to be able to get all of it in as the cubes stuff it out.
Giovanna saves super unfortunately interacting with the way that Vena managed to block it on Arpeggio. The second wave hitting it through it, and Scatter is on his almost last pixel of health, and this is just chip you out. There's no real need to keep it like fancy. There's nothing you can do.
He was literally a victim of his own demise. No meter to play with. He was bound to get checked by one thing or another. There was nothing he could do but have to hold everything. And worst of all, he has no burst. He's building it up, and he's going to use it for the deflect shield.
No.
But Vena opts to just play it lame, just plays it from the wayside, and just kind of helps, and he just opens up.
Okay, nice reaction on the tap toss, but still, it's all Vena right now. A fair amount of damage is already building up on Scatter's HP. 5D is going to be blocked in the air, plus frames, but you still have so many arpeggios and cubes to keep it. You still have so many spells. And it finally overhead connects, and this is going to be through the wall. 50 tension on deck, and you can just send that cube Metron. Wait, that's the brain scrambler, but Scatter managed to block it. Kappa, this might just happen.
He got the cross up. He's got the backdash. He's got 50 meter to play with. He's going to go for the BRC mix. Goes for the low this time. Going to spend the burst. Barely any mana to play with, but he gets to recover mana spell in time.
No, wait, what is
gravity spell to push on forward. He is going to get caught by the Travail, and it's going to go down to the wire, possibly. YRC attempt. Going to send out that wall of arpeggios. Deflect shield coming in again.
Oh my god, I'm just holding my breath. Oh my god, about just whiffing the double teleport is going to be stalling Vena in the air just to keep that mana back into the fray, and Scatter keeps the match. Oh my days, this is last round of this match as well.
Final game, final round. The stakes have never been higher for either of these players. Every single layer has been represented. Now it's just a war of attrition for both of them. Backdash to us was able to catch, but not get all of it as the last hit forced the recovery out. We do have the cube out, trying to hold down, able to stuff out the wall of cubes. That mana break is going to come in clutch, but there is no meter to supplement it. He's still in dead man's land, while Vena has more than enough resources to fight back from.
Absolutely does. Tries to use the BRC just to stall down mana regeneration. Scatter blocking the pseudo cross up. Has the blue Wallace just to keep it plus and get that mana back. And finally mana shield back online. Oh, just to use it just to get that Hail Mary, but still plus even though it's blocked. Kappa, we're right back in the corner. Venom managing to mash out with those Q and has an arpeggio and another one and another one. Has a teleport. Watch out for the cross up. Burst
there. That's our final gambit. We got caught by the close slash. Not enough to get the kill off, but we stuff out any possible approach. Gonna get killed by the one Irish cube. It's gonna go down to the wire. Vena takes it in final game, final round. Wrong for this as well. Mind you, his chance of survival has been slim, but it has not been zero, and that's the important factor here. And for Vena, he is on a hot streak. One upset after the next is able to take 2 to 3 big names back to back. Took out Resil, took out Joe, and now took out Scatter. Nice teleport to get to the opposite side. Now there's one big task he has left, a Herculean task. He's got to take down IML to get that grand final slot from loser side.
Ooh, nice roll to GM for the charge blue Wallace just to get that wall break. Good stuff, getting the positive bonus. This is looking very great for Vena right now. Just go for the cheeky cross up with that slight jump forward, but that 6K is just going to be sealing that deal, especially with the spells in hand. That's already one round up for Vena.
Both of them opting for the 6P. Sometimes great minds truly do think alike. 6H is going to drop. That is a very early onset mistake, but it isn't a big mistake yet. However, the Black Beak combo is going to be super important for Vena as he does set up that situation, that winning situation. Get caught from the blindsided cube, and now the vacuum staff going to force you to vacuum right into his loving arms.
Alright, still has some cubes on screen. What a whiff punish using the slowdown from the PRC just to be able to punish with those spells. Oh, and teleporting straight into the cubes. You can't do that, unfortunately. That's going to be another Deja Vu blue Volatile charge, but no wall break right now. This is just one singular situation left. You kind of just blocked and killed as one up for Vena.
Yeah, Vena definitely did his homework in advance. He did know how IML was playing into both himself.
This is the last player without Yokai in their name, right?
Vena and Shock are the only 2 Yokai players left.
Right, yes, because there's the top 3. Ooh, Vena is the last. Okay. I see that.
Nice 6P to stuff out the cube. He does have recover mana, and again, utilizing that ability to just stall to reach for the cards and really play with the fact that IML doesn't have any great effective anti-airs or air-to-air buttons to reach from that high up.
While it's all for the plus frame, just go for the 6K immediately. Not going to be keeping it fancy, just simple and easy, but IML, nice little confirm, gotta get those plus frames off the air fireball, just dashes up to grab a nice little safe jump setup, but getting mashed out on Vena has been so great with these defensive options, and it's just not stopping. The Vena train just keeps going. Nice.
Top end at 6.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
All good. I just wanted to give it some time. Baiting out the burst, gonna get the full extension, and just keep it simple. We did get a lot of potency off of our simple hits, and we might have to reconsider that game plan from last time back in winner's side. Win small, win often, because it's as stands. We're losing more frequently in spaces we normally would dominate.
Absolutely. Nice little anti-air with the heavy fireball. Going to be capitalizing into a stain state. That's just going to be a double overhead. Vena still blocking all of that, using the wire C just to get out of the corner. And tries to get it back desperately and finally managing through that arpeggio. No, but wait, IML just completely denying that arpeggio and finally getting that hit that can mean the world for IML right now.
Can we talk about that teleport, Mastodon? That teleport was nasty. That was super calculated, and it was well placed as well to stuff through that arpeggio wall of cubes.
Oh my god, Vena just keeping to the air. It's too funny. It's too funny. Like, I've been hearing tales, I've been hearing like scary stories around the campfire about Vena's air stalling, but this is on whole other levels.
Oh, yet another burst bait. That is 2 on the bounce. IML gonna get that wall break, but Vena once again gonna full send it, and all our efforts were put to waste. Vena takes 2 on the bounce. That is going to be one hell of a quick losers finals if IML cannot answer back. He was in winner's side, so we gotta be mindful. This is where things start to get tricky for Vena. Vena has been known to be able to drop leads a little bit, so he cannot let his foot off the gas even a smidgen. Otherwise, IML's gonna come through.
Oh my days. That is not even letting go of the gas. That is just pushing it through the floor. That was insane. Just go to the other side from the air. Like, you can't even see your own character. You can't even see yourself be mixed. That's some new levels of mind game. And that 5D doing incredible work. Just getting a 2-way drop of the OTG plus frames off of that lightning spell. And look at that, 2 arpeggios, 1 teleport. This is looking like an insane hand right now. Okay. Getting those double arpeggios. This is going to be 2 complete walls into the corner. What a cross-up right here, Kappa.
Amazing work from him as well. He's going to be able to get the high compression particle sphere and get the kill shot. This is one more round, and he's right there. He just needs to put 1 foot forward and 1 foot next to it. He's right on the finish line. He just needs to get this final kill shot. Burst comes online. IML deciding to hold on to it. And are we going to get the burst bait? No, we're not. Vena decides it's not even worth the attempt. We're already there. It's better to just get our reward for what we're doing.
100%, but speaking of teleports, IML still has some up his sleeve. Plus frames again, now without getting the safe jump. Still not going to be stained. There it is! But this is going to be almost a reversal, but that actually connects. Oh my goodness. Not tight enough, and now IML is straight back onto the defense. This is looking dire for IML.
He's going to use the... Oh, from max range from downtown! That really came out in a very important moment for IML. He delays the inevitable and is able to give himself even a momentary window to come back into the game and offer himself a little bit of space to play with. But he gets caught by this speed step Irish cube, and now we're going to go through the wall. Offer positive bonus here with Burst still a far cry away.
Getting that burst, but your resources are looking healthy. Your mana's almost full. You almost still have 50 more tension. And what a burst! And that final combo is just going to be it. You have so many resources, so everything just to finish it off. No, wait, ML! What is going on? You just have to finish it. One more wall, and the cube is going to be running through IML's defense, and the final soldier to face Yokai has fallen.
Be his most daunting test, as Shocker has been all from winner's side, hasn't dropped a set, and is able to possibly take this championship with the momentum on his side. But goes to show you the working man's character, the working man's player is on the stage.
Oh, Asuka versus Axl. I can only imagine the uphill battle that Asuka has has to fight because of those cubes versus those buttons. I'm definitely putting my bets on those buttons. But Vena finally finding an in, but now the gold burst is just going to be equalizing it. And Vena is looking to just get in, and through those 5-piece and 2-piece, finally find something. And so many resources have already been spent. 2 bursts, one YRC, and we're still just in the first 20 seconds of this game.
This is going to be a huge uphill battle, not only as a matter of player versus player, but also a matchup because Axl is going to be a detrimental character to his game plan, as all his tools just stuff out these cubes very abrasively. But this is a fantastic position for Vena. However, Shocker able to get the uptake and able to reset the whole situation. YRC to put some distance. This might be able to do it.
No.
He gets the burst bait, but not the kill shot.
Finally gets it with that little chip from the cube, and now Shocker is without a burst versus Vena, so any singular hit could be spelling doom. Don't forget, all caps versus Shocker. But Shocker managed to find a nice cross up and then back into the offense, even with the fast staff out on the screen. Nice counter hit just to get that confirmed, but not the full one, as this just getting back and forth between these two players. And finally the cleanest hit, but just drops it, and opts to just mulligan the deck to get that sort of equalization with spells. But now Shocker is on the offense here, Kappa.
And worst of all, right, the burst has been used, but we're going to use the wall of arpeggios to catch. And not only that, we have the spell to be able to restock all of our stuff. And best of all, we have 50 meter to approach it. Shocker can't be too reckless here. He is going to utilize that whistling wind from the downtown. Wow. JK reaches from the top rope, and we bait the burst again to send a message.
Duel 2. Let's rock. Slap.
All right, we back. We're back.
We're back.
All right, we're good. We're good.
Don't panic. Don't panic. Don't scream. It's fine. We're back. Anyway, 2K2D just goes into those plus frames. Not those. Uh-oh. No, wait. Oh, wait. That was the golden opportunity just to get that momentum in your favor. But never mind getting the RC conversion with those bomber loops through the wall. Mana looking mad scarce right here. But still, you have 50 tension to be spending on it. No, wait. What was that?
That was an interesting decision, but it doesn't matter. Shocker is very much in the lead. The Sacred Text, we have to get a knockdown of some sorts, otherwise we're going to get the mana break. But the run-up throw, once again, the one that cinched it out for us in the last game is going to be what helps us get the final game. We are 1 round away from victory for Shocker.
But still, anything can happen. Don't count Vena out just yet. Has that personal gravity staff out, and this is just air stall to get those cards, get that little bit more of a favorable hand against Axl, because there are very few spells that are just beating what Axl wants to do, especially putting out those massive hitboxes in mid-screen. But Vena managing to find an out, a nice little cross-up, but no, that 2K2D again, those 5 frames are just completely insane at shutting down anything that Vena tries to do on offense.
He does get the recover mana spell off. He does get the gold burst available to him. We're bursting back to back. The Winter Mantis gonna slip on through that wall of cubes. Almost 100 meter allotted to Shocker.
No way.
He waits out the 6-bit attempt, and this is the kill shot. He's gonna go for the reset, and the JH seals the deal. It's gonna be Shocker who takes EU Vice's monthly number 4. Congratulations, we had one hell of a ball. Congratulations, Shocker, for putting on the absolute performance of a lifetime. But this is no discredit to Vena. He had an absolute run tonight. 4 back-to-back upsets, but they were amazing games all the same, Mastodon.